ask Angela that question because he's always trying to compete with me and getting in the room.
We are live, everybody. We are live. Well, look at that. We are live, everybody. We are live and in the house today. So, what's going on? You see that title, Chasing What and Why? Listen, sometimes, right, we want things. There's nothing wrong with wanting a thing. But you would be surprised how many of us want something, but we don't know where we want it from. That's really important. Remember, we're talking about the state of consciousness, your present state of consciousness. In my Father's house are many mansions. Those are states of being. They are states of being. And so when you are in a state, you have to know what state you are in. What does it feel like to your body? This is how you'll know. This is why the law of vibration is important. It tells us that everything moves, nothing stands still. So now the way the thing is moving is going to make you feel a particular way in your body. Why? Because you have to have the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. So if you can recognize, whoa, you know you're moving because you can't stand still. So if you know that you're moving, how does it make you feel? This is the key. How is it making you feel? Because the moment you can recognize how that thing is making you feel, you'll know exactly what state you are creating from. Is it a state of desperation? See, because what have we learned? We've learned to chase the bag. Listen, dogs chase their tails, cats chase their tails. Humans are deliberate. I'm going to say that to you again. You can choose which one you want to be. And there's a reason I'm going to say it to you this way, because the next time you go out into the world and you are feeling something, you're going to recognize, whoa, am I chasing my tail here? Am I chasing the bag? Dogs chase their tails. Cats chase their tails. Humans are deliberate. What does it mean? What do you want? What do you want is the question. You're never asked to justify. You're simply asked, what do you want? And when you answer the question, well, I want dot, 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 ask yourself something else, because what does that feel like when you think about it? Are you coming from a place of, oh my God, I got to have it, I must, or else my life will suck if I don't? If this person doesn't love me back, my life is over. Uh, what state is that? You see? So if you pay attention, if you pay attention to the vibration, you will know what state you are in. I read somebody's comment this morning. They said they thought that getting their SP, their specific person or their special person, they thought that when they got this person, they would feel a particular way. And I was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, listen to what you just said. So, you know, I had to comment, right? I had to respond to the comment. It wasn't in my forum, but you know how it is. So I responded and I was like, but look at your state. Clearly, you see, we say things, but we don't listen to what we say. We just say it. They said, as clear as day, I thought when I got what I wanted, then I would feel calm. So you're waiting for the feeling? No. You see, this is why Neville Goddard can say to us that we have all these things that we want, but we don't appropriate it. We go through life being unfulfilled because we want to wait for the sensation. We want to wait for the state. You don't wait for the state, you occupy the state. What does that mean, though? It means if you want a relationship, Because that's usually, this is what brings a lot of people to the law. They want to get somebody back. You don't want somebody back. You want to feel something. You want to feel appreciated. You want to feel loved. You want to feel cherished, respected, cared for. That's what you want. That is what you want. Same thing for the job. You want to feel fulfilled in that role, meaning you get to use your skills because you know what those skills are. You appreciate those skills. So here we are thinking we want a particular thing, when in actuality, it is the state that we want, not the thing.
Exactly, because feelings create things. Things don't create feelings, and that's we have been trained to have a backwards perception simply because we're in a seemingly physical reality, right? But once you understand that feelings create things, things don't create feelings, you can always create the feeling to attain the thing, and that's why when you get that person, if you were looking for that person to give you that feeling, you will never get it. You will need many people. You want nobody will be enough to fill that void.
You want it said any clearer than that? Exactly. I'll tell you the line. I had to go back and find it this morning in the Matrix. He says, "You know the difference between me and you, Tom? Um, Anybody could have been you, whereas I could have been anyone. You see, the state, you can move to any state, but we keep thinking that that one thing or that one person is what we want. When in actuality, you must occupy the state. Marquis said the feeling is what will create the thing. What does Neville say? Because he says the exact same thing. Neville says what? The thing felt is the thing experienced. So when you use the law of vibration, you understand, it tells you everything is moving. Nothing stands still. So what is this feeling moving through you? Why do you want that person? Why do you want that thing? Where do you want it from? You see, what does it feel like to you in your body when you think about that thing? This is why Neville says, catch the mood. Catch the mood. Listen, we are always in a mood, day in and day out. We are always in a mood. But what we don't recognize is we are creating from that mood, because you can only create from the mood. The mood is the sensation. But here we are chasing the bag. You keep chasing the bag. You'll have to keep chasing the bag because you have not identified the state and occupied it. If you identify, what does having the bag mean to you? What does it mean to you? I know what it could mean to a particular rapper, but what does it mean to you to have the bag? This is the question. When you answer that question, what does that mean to me? Here's how Neville says it. What would it be like if I had the bag? What would that be when you get up in the morning and you have the bag? How are you getting out of bed? Are you energized? Are you dragging yourself through the day? How are you moving through the world with the bag? It is not the bag that you want. It is the state of having the bag. You see, we have to take ourselves, by using the law of polarity, from wanting something to having it.
And every day I want to impress how revolutionary this is, how aggressive this is, and how dynamic this is. To walk out into the world as the world presents you with a set of circumstances, physical, spiritually, and mentally, and for you to deny them and say, no, thank you. This is the state that I choose to live from.
Exactly. Marquise is reminding you of your power, your I am. Lord have mercy. Where is the scripture? I wrote it down. Well, sorry a little bit. Mama gonna have to turn the light on, and I'm gonna read it to you because I'll read it to you. I know exactly where it is. Yes, that would be me unzipping my Bible. So,
that's exactly what I saw in my mind.
did you really? Lilith, go ahead, sweet girl. Say it.
Hey, Angela. Blessings to everybody. Happy Monday. Love to you all. I just wanted to say, just piggybacking on what the gentleman before me said, because I liked that point of rejecting what we currently see and living in this space, choosing our reality and where we choose to exist. I was talking to a group of people in my space the other day, and I was just reiterating what you had told me in our own personal conversations. When we get on these apps and we go in the space of the air out there, we're constantly bombarded with the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And we're constantly bombarded in their systems, negativity, negative images. And sometimes you really do have to choose the reality that you live from. Sometimes you actually literally have to reject what you're hearing and what they're trying to engulf you in, the rabbit hole, so to speak, of the matrix. And you have to live outside of it and trust not what you're seeing, but where you're choosing to live from, if that makes sense.
Ooh, Lilith. That was fire, honey. Fire. I don't have a fire emoji for you, but that's what it is. You have to choose it. Neville says what? Deny the senses. He doesn't mean deny is to pretend it isn't there. He's telling you you can see what it is, but you say, nah, this is where I am choosing to be. This is where I am choosing to be. See, I was reading my word. Psalm 25, verse 4. Make me know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your path. Lead me in your truth and teach me. Read it. I'm trying to remember if it was my good friend who wrote a little ditty about that or if that ditty was floating around. Teach me your ways, O Lord, and I will walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart. That verse. To have an undivided heart means what? You're the one being deliberate and determining your state. You see, this is why Neville says creation is done, because the state already exists for everything. The state already exists for everything. You just have to, by way of feeling, the law of vibration, the way of feeling to say, whoa, this feels like the right thing for me right here. You see, this mood, this is the one I want. And what do? You appropriate it. What do you do when you appropriate something? The minute you put yourself in it, because you are in it, you now give it life. It's inanimate. It's just sitting there waiting to be occupied. So you get in it and say, as soon as you inhale and exhale, you've given it life. You said, this is the state. And Neville says to remain faithful to that state, not what does George say? What does Peter say? What does that billboard say? No, you can't be divided between what the state is and what everybody else's opinion is. A divided man can never have his blessings. You can't. So you have to remain focused.
You know what God said?
Go ahead.
And listen, I'd rather you be hot or cold. If you are lukewarm, I will spit you out. I mean, that's gangster. Like I don't know what God people reading about, but that's gangster right there, man. That means don't be coming up to be trying to be poor and rich. Don't be a rich dad, poor dad. You got to occupy one state.
Facts. I love that reminder. I would flip for it in my phone to find exactly where it is. I know somebody in here knows exactly where that scripture is. Don't be lukewarm, because the minute, just like it is, and you know why it spits you out? Think about that. Think about having somebody spit on you. That's not a nice thing, is it? And depends on listen, if you're eating, I'm sorry. And it also depends upon the depths of which they draw to spit you out. Think about
right.
that.
It's deep. That's the deep one with the loogie.
Yeah. Yeah, not from the depths. So think about that for a moment. Your state, your state. What would it be like if I had the bag? Don't chase the bag, people. Call the bag by appropriating the state of the bag. This is why you have to know yourself. What does it mean? Right? I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Revelations 3:15. Lilith, thank you. You see, I told you somebody was going to know where this scripture is.
I just love that name that she got. This was
Right? This is the beauty of what we've been given. That state. What is the state? The state is the feeling of the thing. People say, well, I want a relationship. And what kind of relationship you want? The state. What kind of state do you want to get up in every morning in your relationship? Do you want to get up and, like Sinbad says after a couple of years ago, there he is. There you go. You want that? Or do you want to get up every morning and go, oh my God, you're so, like, totally awesome. Just hold me a little longer. Like, what do you want? What's the state of relationship that you want? You don't just want the relationship because every Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, Jane, and George has one. What do you want? You. I am. And that's why when you hear, teach me your way, oh Lord, and I will walk in your truth. To have I am teach you something is most profound. So what is the way? What's the state? What way do you want me to walk in? If you would, just like it says in the scripture, if you would lay in your bed and commune with your own spirit, your own heart, you would learn much. To commune, communicate, speak with, feel, whichever comes most naturally to you. Lay there and you say, well, what do I want? What do I want? When I think about this thing, how does it make me feel when I say I want it? How does it make me feel? Because then you'll begin to recognize what desperation is. You'll begin to recognize what lack is, because you'll see exactly where your current state of mind is. This is why the law of polarity is also your friend. Because in order to move, you're always moving. Where do you want to move to? Well, that depends. Where are you now and what are you doing? And it is only the vibration that separates the lack from abundance. Because lack and abundance are the same. Don't get it twisted. They're states. They're states of being, of how you live your life. So if you're in a state of lack, what does that feel like to you? So now when you recognize a state of lack and you say, I want that, where's it coming from? A state of lack. So now you have to move yourself. So you have to raise the vibration. Raising the vibration means what? You got to feel better. What would make you feel better? The question, what would it be like if I had the bag? What would it be like if I had the bag? What would that make you feel like? The moment you answer that question, you have now moved yourself from a state of lack. Because in order to see abundance, what it feels like, you got to move yourself to it. You got to move yourself to that state. Okay, so now you've moved yourself to a state of abundance. Now appropriate it. Appropriate. I don't even have any more devices I can pull to appropriate something. Who wants to look it up for me? Somebody look it up. If you're not driving, if you're in a position to look it up, the word appropriate, look it up for me and tell me what it is. Because you have to move from wanting the thing to having the thing. So to have it, you must appropriate it. Neville says the only reason why you don't have it is because you refuse to accept it. And how do we?
You know.
Mhm.
Also,
Go ahead.
Say this right. If the poor is with you always, then we know that due to the law of polarity, the rich is with you always. Also,
Yes, because they are states. We think they mean people.
Appropriate
Speak, comrade. Share it.
means to take from somebody else. Means to make it yours. Take it from somebody else.
Take exclusive possession.
It's another word stealing. That's all it is.
Okay, wait.
Set apart.
Wait, coach. Give me 1 second. I'll let comrade say his, and then you say yours. Comrade, go ahead.
It says to take exclusive possession of, annex, to set apart for or assign to a particular purpose or use, to take or make use without authorization, authority, or right,
Yeah.
Or owner's permission.
There you have
or
it.
authorization.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is he saying here? He's saying to you, take it. It is yours. You don't have to wait. Please, sir, can I have some more? You don't have to wait for somebody to tell you and to bequeath it to you, give it to you, justify you, validate you. He says, appropriate it, take it. Hey, be a conqueror. Conquerors don't wait for you. They just walk in there with their britches pulled all the way up and they said, this is mine. And how do they say it? They stick their flag in it. But I'm just saying, this is the same attitude by which we appropriate the desired state.
Hey, Angela, and also let me tell you this, right? And so when you are a conqueror like that, and you know that it's yours, it's your divine destiny, you know what I mean? When it's that glorious purpose, you even call it manifest destiny.
Yes, indeed. You see, this is the beauty, right? The law is about simplicity, ease, effortless. That if you look at it, this is what it is. Put a seed in the ground, water it, it sprouts, and you got something to eat. Right? Easy as pie. And you've got critters, well, just learn what they don't like. They don't like garlic, plant garlic in between the things. You don't have to use force. Like as in, there's a difference between force by trying to make it happen and the movement. The movement, which is vibration, to move yourself in the desired direction you want to go in, is force. Because you have to move, you have to get up, you have to step. When you push off the ball of your foot, that is force, but it is forward momentum. You're not pushing against a wall to move. It's force, but one of them brings results and the other one frustrates. Move by way of what is natural. So to assume the state, which is what we are always doing already. How so? If you say things like, well, they don't like me. I'm not going to hang around them. They don't care about me. That's your state right there. It's your state. This is how you feel. You're living and you're seeing the world through that lens. So how are they supposed to respond to you? The same way you just told them to, by way of your state of mind. So you see, we are already doing it. But I'm not pretty enough. Well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not booked this. I don't have this degree. You've already invalidated yourself. You are walking in a state of invalidness, if that is such a word. That's what you're walking under. That's your umbrella. Those are the seeds you're sprinkling like dandelions. You're blowing it in the wind. So what do you possibly predict is going to happen to you? So if we don't recognize the state that we are in, here's how you recognize it. How do you feel? How do you feel? You see, because this is why Neville says, if you're in a state of, anger or, rage or some such thing, don't cuss nobody out, especially in your mind, because the force by which it comes out of you by way of that anger, if they don't feel the same way, it's gonna ricochet right back to you with the same force that you sent it out with. This is why he's so adamant with think lovely thoughts towards others. This is why he's so adamant with it, because he recognizes the state that we behave from. So remember, dogs chase their tails, cats chase their tails, humans are deliberate. We are deliberate. We better be deliberate. You don't have to chase the bag, call the bag, appropriate the state of having the bag, which means take your time and sit there. What does having the bag feel like? Go through all of the best case scenarios. What does it feel like to have the bag? Don't look at, yes, Oracle Treehouse?
When you was talking about mood, I was in the car, but you made me think about a meme that be going around all the time, talking about I'm in the mood for, what does it say? I'm in the mood for $600,000. I'm in the mood to receive $600,000. You have to get in that $600,000 mood. So yeah.
I like that, Oracle Treehouse, because it makes you sit there and think, $600,000. What does that feel like? What would it feel like? I've never experienced $600,000. So I can't tell you right here and right now, it's supposed to feel like this, this, and this. However, if I had $600,000, my mind would be at ease. I'd be more comfortable. I'd be more relaxed. I'd get up with a new attitude. I'd walk with a new attitude. I'd speak with a new attitude. That much I can tell you. So then, what does $600,000 feel like? See, that attitude, that state of fulfillment, of accomplishment, Neville says it's the thrill. Like, seriously, how would my mother see me? What would she say to me? How would my sisters see me? That, and thinking along those lines, puts you in the state of appropriation of that $600,000. Because trust me, you get $600,000, you're gonna have relatives you didn't even know you had. And how you gonna respond? Now you're in the state. So to remain faithful to that state is to keep that, I guess you want to say, that rehearsal mode of who's the first person you're gonna tell? What are you gonna say? What kind of attitude are you gonna say it with? So when we have a dollar amount, unless you've walked in that dollar amount, so you have previous experience, right? So this is why it is so important to grasp the state. If you've been hurt a lot in the past, or shoot, even yesterday, this morning, if you've been hurt and you're holding on to that hurt, you're in a state of what? Protect myself. So before you allow yourself to be hurt, you will lash out in protection of self. So, what state are you living under? But you see, we like to hold on to the hurt because the hurt is familiar to us. It brings some sense because it is familiar. It brings some sense of security because you know a thing better the devil you know than the one you don't. We say it all the time. So the state, what are you living under? If you go somewhere and you say, ah, why do people always argue with me? See, I know that one real well. Because of the state of argumentative behavior is what you're walking in. Nobody just gets up one morning and just finds you. As the scripture says, you couldn't come here unless I called you. So that's why you call the bag. Don't chase the bag.
Positively. This is say because you said 600,000. 2 years ago I manifested 500,000 in my life. What I didn't prepare myself for, and I did feel like, all the different opportunities I would have, the things I would change and improve, and I did a lot of those things. But what I didn't prepare myself for was the people switching up on me. I went from a state of being broke, like not having anything financially, to having basically enough to be able to satisfy the things that I needed and a lot of wants. And what I didn't prepare myself for was the way that people would change on me. It revealed a lot of envious people around me. A lot of people, like, they didn't know that I had came into that amount of money, but they knew that, like, I was more confident. A lot of the things I would, complain about, I wasn't complaining about anymore. I wasn't ready for the haters. And I didn't realize I had to switch up my circle and the people around me to also reflect people that, weren't in a state of lack. Because when I was in a state of lack, I attracted others who were in a state of lack. And the moment I got out of that state of financial lack, it's like they revealed themselves to me. And that was probably the most shocking part of it all. I thought, like, oh, well, I can help this person, I can whatever. Then I realized the couple people that I told became really entitled to help. Like, they wanted me to just do everything for them because they're like, well, you got this money. But anyway, I will say it's a 180 change that happens, and you got to be prepared as well to level up. Perhaps you got to level up your circle,
or let it become a jail to you. Because that's what money can become, a prison to you, psychologically, just like what you're going through.
Indeed.
And I see people go through that because that was one of the main reasons why I didn't really care for letting folks know that if I had some change or not, you know what I mean? Because that's what people do. They become entitled. They feel like all the energy you put in, they're supposed to be able to get it.
Well, they told me I didn't work for it, and I actually won a lawsuit, which I can't talk about, but I won a lawsuit, and it came to me like in an instant. Like, the lawsuit took several months to settle, but it wasn't something I did or plotted on or whatever. I just asked for the money. I asked for the money, and I did exactly what Positively said. I asked myself, how does it feel? What are the things I'm going to be able to do? What I'm going to do? I got visualized myself as though I already had it, and I was already there. It's just the thing that I didn't see is how it would affect the way people perceived me. And that hurt. That really crushed my spirit. So, but I had to switch up, and I realized, like, some of these folks are only cool with me so long as I'm, not doing better than them.
I'm glad you shared that, Karma Queen. Because here's what it is, right? Neville Goddard, when he said, you can use the envy of others for your own favor, like to propel yourself forward. So when you appropriate the state of financial freedom, financial abundance, you now know that there are going to be those who are going to be whatever they are. But remember this, that state is wearing the face of the person you knew or that you know, because they are coming from their own state also. So they are appropriating a particular state, and they just happen to be wearing a face that is familiar to you. So in your state, When you prepare for these kinds of things because you know that they're going to happen. And that's why I'm glad you shared it, Karma Queen. I appreciate that.
A positive answer.
Yes.
You do remember her saying, whoever it was said to, well, you didn't work for it. You got it for free. Well then, if that's your answer to me, go get yours for free then. Don't expect mine. Like, don't feel like you're entitled to mine because I got mine. That was my blessing.
Right?
Mm-hmm. But this is exactly it here right now. I want you to feel what just happened. When you thought about, because here's what happens to us, because sometimes we don't want to experience those types of situations in our lives where, like Karma Queen says, they switched up. We don't want to feel that. We don't want to experience that. And then you know what we do? We say, fine. Not all of us, but some of us say, well, fine, I'd rather not have it. We don't say it with those words, but we appropriate the state of, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yes, ma'am. And I think that's part of the lottery curse. When they talk about that lottery curse, people go back broke. I think they don't want to feel how uncomfortable it is when they do change that state. That they might have to change their circle and the things around them and stuff like that. Like, and then your problems become new. Like, so because you're not worried about money or stuff like that, now you got time to focus on other things. Like I shared in the past room, and this is something, it's controversial, whatever. But I got a nose job because that was something that bothered me. And then I switched my nose up, and I'm like, I realized, well, there's people that still didn't find me attractive because I thought if I just fix this one thing, I'm gonna be good. And I had to just realize, like, all this stuff I thought that money was gonna just fix for me, it was deeper. So I had to, like you said, go within myself and find, still find that positivity, because money does not fix everything.
Not just amplify anything. Whether your life is good and you get a bunch of money, it's going to amplify that, right? But if your life is bad and you get a bunch of money and you don't have the right mindset, it's going to amplify like your detriment. Because just think of a bum that's outside of a store and he accidentally buy a lottery ticket and he win. Now he just amplified his alcohol consumption. And he's going to kill himself faster because he has all of the tools to do it with now, because his mindset is still that broke bum. But now I got a bunch of money. You get the difference? So it's one of them type of things. You really have to change your mindset regardless if you want to be around the people or not, because they are going to cause you to humble your own self when you're not even supposed to be humbling yourself.
Yeah, but
I don't like that word humble either. I don't like that word because I don't want to make myself less to appeal to somebody else.
I wake that up, and I was just trying to add what Positively was saying. I didn't mean to interrupt, but just saying, like, when you said, like, well, I'd rather not have it. I think sometimes that's what happens, because you're like, I miss those friends. At the end of the day, they were with me through thick and thin. I miss being able to relate to the people around me, because now I got to find this new circle of people, and I don't know. I demonized them before I had money. Like, I was like, oh, because I invested my money. I demonized them. I was like, oh, well, they're bougie. They think they're better than everybody. But those are the same people that now I can relate to, because I'm like, well, we eat the same restaurants. We live in the same neighborhood. You know what I mean? So it's like, I do understand you want to sometimes self-sabotage.
But not to cut you off, sister, but let's just make sure we get the mic back to Positivity so we can get back to the floor of the room.
Okay, yeah, I'll just go in here and say I understand what she's saying, because sometimes people self-sabotage, because that new state that you will enter in when you get that money is going to be something you have to adjust to. Come with new challenges.
Facts. Thank you, Karma Queen. Thank you for that. Thank you, Marquise. This is the part that I want us to get a hold of, because when you start talking about it, what we have popular sayings: money changes people. Coach said, it amplifies what you already are. So if you look at it, Coach said something else. He says you still have to change your mindset. What is the first law of creation? The all is mind. The universe is mental. It is always going to be mental. So if you get your mind right, if you're looking at money and you It's not the money now. Think about the state that you want to live in. What kind of friends, right? What kind of conversations? Where are you going to go? What kind of friend are you going to be like? What kind of conversations will you be having? That is what falls under, right? Because it, like Karma Queen says, you have to level up now the type of people you hang with. So if you build your state or appropriate your state that matches that, well, then you will take care of the people and the attitudes. You see, and there's that thing, we've breathed light into that. Karma Queen mentioned it, the lottery curse. Do you hear what we say? You hear that state that we live from? That's what I'm trying to tell you right here, right now. It is a state. The moment you think, oh my God, lottery curse. Well, I don't want to be like that. Now you shut the door on any money that could possibly come to you. Why? Because you don't want a curse. When in actuality, you don't live under a curse. Unless, of course, you choose to live under the state of curse. So catch what you speak to yourself, because words do not return void. Whatever it is you say, because creation is done. Neville Goddard says creation is done. And what that means is the state that you want to experience is done. It is static. It's like you're flipping through. You know, when you go to the grocery store and they have cakes and you have to flip through the book and they show you the picture of the cake and the dimensions and blah, blah, blah. Right. The state is just like that in a giant book. And you flip through and you're like, oh, that's the one. And what do you do from there? You say, oh, yes, I'll have this one. And you pay and you take it. And she tells you when to pick it up because that's when it'll be done. So you choose the state because it is already sitting there. What makes the state alive is you walking into it and putting it on like a coat. You put it on like a coat, you turn this way and that in the mirror, and you say, I look good. And every single outfit you put on has that thing on it. You appropriate the state, not, I want that thing. Oh, I want that thing. And then when you get it, you're like, oh, I didn't really want it. Remember the lecture with the boy who wanted the motorbike? And she said to him, well, where are you going to park? He said, well, in the garage. She goes, okay, so where can you drive it? And it turned out he couldn't drive it down the street because that was against the community rules. He couldn't drive it in the parking lot because they were open 7 days a week. And it would have obstructed the customers. And he finally said, oh, all right. I'm not in the best position for that thing. And so get the state.
But you know what? Also, even if you got in the best position for it, by appropriating, you know, when you hear the word appropriate, it sounds like appropriate, right? So when you know what you want to appropriate, let's say if I say I am woke, which I say every day and I feel every day, right? When I say I am woke, I mean I really take on the tones of that reality, meaning the way I move, I am happy because I know that everything is pretty much taken care of. I have access to all material, right? So when I say I am woke, what that means is that now money is like a dog. When I call my dog home, I don't have to chase a bag because I am where the bag goes.
There you go. I'm glad you said that, Marquise, because I love the way you said it, because I am the bag. You don't have to chase it, appropriate it. And you're absolutely correct. We appropriate the state. And so the way Neville suggests doing it makes a lot of sense. When you ask, what would it be like if I had it? Go through all of that, because they're great case scenarios. Because what do we do already naturally? We're like, oh, yeah, but I don't want that to happen or that to happen or this. Why? Why go there? Go to the best case scenarios. Feel in your body what that state feels like, because now you're activating love correspondence activated. As within, so without. As above, so below. So if you get into that state and you you're moving it, you feel it, you suss it out. You're like, ooh, I like the way this feels. You know what? I like this. I'm gonna live here now. I'm gonna see the world from here. And appropriate the state. So that when you do that, now you can do what the law of cause and effect tells you. If you know the cause, which you are, you can predict the outcome. You know, as long as you're in that state, you can predict the outcome of that state. Cause and effect every single time. It will not be a mystery unto you. Listen, I have prattled on this morning. Let me take a moment to welcome everybody into the space. Hello, Lilith, darling. Ruru, hey, Root. Tanya, hey. I see you all here on Twitter. Facebook, I know Indy's here. YouTube, Miss Marjorie. Ooh, Cyber. I'm a Cyber. Let me come back to that one, to that scripture. Hello, Marjorie.
Hey, Cyber.
Cyber, you got fans. Let me see who else is here. Anot is here. The Better Man is here. Asanya is here. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, I see you. Could that be Jeff as well? Fan base, who's here? Cyber, I'm coming back to that verse. You hold tight. Hello, Amina. I see you. Electric Jiggy. Hey, Electric Jiggy Janet. I see you. I want to scratch the record. Record. Comrade is here. Coach, Miss Deborah is here. Karma Queen, hook a brother up. Stephanie, Joaquin, My Melanin, Marquise, Oracle Treehouse, Sola. You notice I did not say Summer Rose. I didn't say her name this morning because I didn't see her in space. But James 4, verse 3. Then you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. And say it, Zola.
I'm sorry, that was an accident.
Oh, my bad, honey. It's all good. Well, the wrong motives there tells you the state. A motive is something that moves you. But am I missing something in the chat here? I'm just yes, My Melanin says money is a mindset. You have not because you ask not. Ooh, you got to say that. How you manage what you have now will determine if you are ready. Well, the scripture says if you are faithful with little, and it's not that it's little or much. The key word is faithful. Not whether it is little or much that you're faithful with, but it's that you are faithful. Faithful is the key word. Cyber, I'm going to explore that one, James 4, verse 3. But I just at first glance, because you ask with wrong motives. To me, looking through the lens of the law, the wrong motive would be, what state am I in? Why am I asking for this thing? Not knowing why you ask, or shoot, knowing why you ask. Right? That's how I would look at it.
I got a little interpretation.
Yes, share, Marquise.
So when you're looking at that, James 4:3, that what I would think, is that you're looking to acquire peace through material means. So you want these earthly creature pleasures to gain peace, or you want that money, or to attain a particular person. With that state should be derived from just being in the ion vibration.
Can I just drop the mic on that? Like, Marquise, that was awesome. Thank you, Shea Butter. Miss Deborah, you listen, as long as I see your face, I'm going to call you. Because I love your insight. And I want you to share, and then I will get the bowl. What do I want you to share on? The state, Miss Deborah. We are the bag. We don't have to chase the bag. I'm sure there was something that was sprinkled on your tongue for you to say. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Good morning, everybody. I really don't have anything to say. It's been brilliance in here this morning, and we do have to appropriate it. I was thinking of that scripture that says, why take heed the thought, saying, what should we put on our bodies, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how we take the thought. It's like I think I heard you say in the beginning, we're not trying to make something happen. I find pleasure in the thought. If you can't feel good, then find pleasure in the thought of having it. And then that's how you can appropriate whatever it is that you desire. But I don't really have anything to share other than that. And good morning to everybody. Good morning, Miss Deborah. Hey, good morning, Miss Deborah.
Morning.
Listen, Miss Deborah is absolutely fantastic, and we all love her. And you are absolutely correct. And see, listen, just the fact of you sharing that, the thought, because this is what Esther Hicks would say too, where she says, well, you reach for a better feeling thought. Because what you're doing when you reach for the better feeling thought, like if the thought alone can't make you feel good, well, how's the thing gonna make you feel good? You see, because the thought makes you feel a particular way, the vibration, it's moving. So you feel a particular way. And because you have now changed thoughts, you've changed polarity. You've changed from where you were to where you say you want to go. You see, the law is always at work. And then you see it and you recognize it. Now you can throw confetti and say, hey, I can do this much more efficiently and effectively and not have to use so much force. Let me get this bowl. Let me tell you something. I'm trying to post this short with a little bit from the other night and playing the bowl. Listen, my girl went nuts when she was the whole time. I was like, girl, what you trying to do? But that reminded me that anytime I'm feeling a particular way and I want to change my state, I want to change my state to one of laughter and just being jovial in life. I go back to her and her. I don't even know if it was pleasure or displeasure at this point because I can't read chicken, but I just know how it made me feel.
I thought she was trying to attune with the tone. Actually, that's what I was thinking.
Is that what you thought?
Probably.
That's a good thing. That's a real good thing.
Wow. But yeah, this is why I say there's never a time that you should catch yourself just sitting there and just allowing yourself to just be there for be deliberate about it is what I'm trying to tell you then. If you have to cry, cry. You don't not. Just do it. And when you're done, because remember what the scripture says, teach me your way, O Lord, and I will walk in your truth. Okay? Teach me the way. Show me the way. This is what you want. So sometimes you have to sit there and be contemplative, or as it says, commune with your own heart upon your bed. Do that. Take those moments. Because as Daddy always says, you rush the brush, you waste the paint. Don't try and hurry. Oh, I gotta have it. Breathe, honey. Take a moment. Just pull back a little bit and just feel it out. Take a moment. Right? Because if you look around the world, everything is go, 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 go. Rush, 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 hurry. What? This is not curling. And if you don't know what curling is, then we know you're not Canadian. Because it's a sport. It's just a big rock and you push it down the ice and they have brooms. And then she goes, sweep, sweep. So you rub the ice real hard so that the stone slides down the ice. It seriously is a sport. It's an Olympic sport, curling. But that's when they say, hurry, hurry, hurry. So that's what triggered that memory for me. But that's what the world is like. It wants you to rush and to hurry and to just speed up. No, we're not curling. Take your time. Take your time. Just so you know. Anyhow, Ruth, I know I'm a little crazy, but next time you're out and about and you feel compelled to rush, you'll remember curling. And you'll say, whoa, 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 I'm not sweeping down the ice. I don't have to rush. I'm going to take my time. Let me get the bowl. Let me get that bowl out. Let me do that to that. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Tonyo, Lilith, Root. Root posted, take your we're not curling. Take your time. You're awesome. I love you. You're just awesome. Yes. Thank you all for being here on Twitter this morning. It is appreciated. Your time, your energy, and your love. I will see you tonight at 10:45 p.m. Eastern, where we will read, I forget the name of the lecture, but you know it'll be a fired up one for sure. 3 propositions? Is that what it is, Marjorie? Yes. That's what we're doing tonight. So I'll see you then. Love you, Twitter. Twitter is closed. YouTube, Cyber. Cyber says, bless you. Listen, you just reminded me of Miss Tori and Dula because they're Southern girls, right? Well, Southern ladies. And that's how they, Tori always says, whoo, bless you, child. Because that's what you say when, you know, they're kind of special and you go, bless this one, Lord. That's what it is. So Shea Butter, Marjorie. Ooh, Marjorie says she's watching Limitless and can say that this is actually what it looks like and feels like when we become our ideal selves once we step into our power without the drug. Oh, now I'm going to have to look that up, Miss Marjorie.
That's a good movie. Oh my God, one of my favorites. Yes, Limitless.
I'm going to have to look at that one up and I'll probably, watch it again and again and again.
And Lucy too. I don't know if she's.
I own Lucy. Yeah, Lucy is awesome.
And okay, yeah.
So let's see.
I think I'm not alone when I say we love when you appropriate the Southern accents.
Don't encourage that. Ain't not the better man. Now there's 2 better men up in here. Sonia, I see you. Yes, I'll see you tonight. Much love to you, YouTube and Facebook. Indy, much love to you.